Like, I think the strength of a real mom protecting her kid. I mean, maybe
Yes.
this is
It's better than a car seat.
I am rationalizing my bad choices. I am fully rationalizing my bad choices.
You guys came back, and we knew you would. You're addicted to us, and Natasha, I miss you. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there.
Well, save it for eras, okay? I'm so happy that we got this guest. It was a little back and forth DMing, and like a moth to the flame, she arrived. She's here.
Yes.
She's a stand-up comic that we've both known for a long time. She's an actor, Emmy-nominated writer. She's done late night. She's written on SNL. She's got a Netflix comedy special called what, Natasha?
Motherload, and also her book, Fully Baked, is now available on pre-order.
Yeah, we got her, guys. It's Rosebud Baker.
Rosebud Baker.
Oh, thanks, guys. That was such a good intro. Holy
We've
shit.
been practicing all morning.
How does it feel to have the best name in the world?
Oh, it feels pretty good. No, I was just made fun of ruthlessly for it for most of my life, but it turned out it works out,
Was it when your boobies were growing in? It was that, Rosebud?
Yes, exactly. When my
Well,
boobies
let me
were
tell
growing
you,
in.
my boobies growing in nickname was Monkey Tits.
What?
Shout out to Devin Law.
Oh my
That's what he
God.
called me. Joke's on you. I might get top surgery, Devin. You've still affected me. Okay, wait. Before we get into anything, I want to play this clip from your special, Motherload. So
Yes,
everyone
it
knows,
is so funny, Rosebud.
everyone knows we're
Rosebud, you
dealing
are
with
so
a
funny.
profesh.
you.
Let's pull up that clip and just kick back and relax.
Babies, they don't come out cooked. Like, she wasn't premature. She just wasn't online. And I was like, all right, well, this sucks. All they do is shit and eat. And I'm like, this is like having a pet turtle. I could have gone to Petco. And my friend calls me up, one of my best friends. She goes, hey, mama. Hey, mommy. And they all talk to you like you've had a traumatic brain injury. All your best friends, hey, mama. It just makes you want to grab a lid-lock love pillow and fucking end it. I was like, she goes, how's mommyhood, mama? I was like, I think I may have fucked up my life in a pretty irreversible way. And she goes, well, maybe it's postpartum depression. And I was like, well, I don't want to kill it. Just not really a newborn person, Just kind of hoping for a little more action. I was hoping for like a giraffe birth where you pop it out, you watch it run. It's exciting.
Fantastic.
So, Rosebud, it does get better, okay? I know you're still. Isn't your daughter like 2?
She's like, she's 2.5 now, and she's it's already gotten so much better. Like,
Oh, good.
Where do you think the tipping point was?
for me, it was like when she started talking, then I
Yeah.
was like, okay, now I'm in my bag. Now I know. Now we're like hanging out together.
And they get to like my kid is 2 and he's a boy, so later talking, starting to be able to talk now, but I'm realizing I'm remembering when you can't say anything, all you do is just scream, and you seem fucking insane.
Yeah.
The babies, and then once they're able to communicate a little, it's like, oh, we can work together to get what you need.
I really wasn't sure if you were talking about the babies or the adults for a second.
Oh,
probably
both.
a little too long. I wasn't
Both.
sure.
I remember like the first 4 years just feeling like walking up and down my hallway doing chores. Like
Yes.
that felt like so much of, I mean, maybe not till 4, but it was just a lot of chores.
Oh my God. Last night I was walking around my apartment with like 2 wire flowers, like an empty soda can, a couple of barrettes, and I was like, where do I begin what do I do with this shit? It was
You're
just
going
like
to Skid Row, baby.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm walking around my apartment just collecting crap.
Wait, now I've got to know, what were you up to with those wire flowers?
I literally,
And of course.
I was like, they were literally just things I found on the floor. Just like, once you put them to
Yes.
bed, you do a sweep, and there's just like half the crap that I pick up. I go like, do I throw it away forever or do I put it somewhere? Because
You know what happened to me is I did that for Moshe, my husband, and then when I had my daughter, I was like, "Oh, I can't do this for two people,"
Yes.
and that was like my breaking point.
So how
Yes.
did you, what was the shift?
I hate my husband.
The solution is
Yes,
resentment.
eating resentment every day.
No, I gotta say, like, I come from not as clean a. I don't want to blame this on family, but my ethos is not clean-nose as Shauna. And I am like dad vibes where I'm like, what I feel like saying is like, why don't we just leave it? Why don't we
Yeah.
just leave it so that we become, that like amazing meme of that lady who's on like Hoarders, who's like, this is my kitchen. I'm like, just make all the rooms feel like that. And then once the kid is old enough to clean up for themselves, they'll probably also have developed some sort of like, I got to be a part of making this. Like, I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm connecting my thoughts well here, but I once got my car towed with Wolfie, who's now 8. And that's my vibe is sometimes my car might get towed. And I feel like just I think it's like healthy to create a system where your kids know that if they're not on it, shit's going to get crazy. So now when I park, Wolfie's like, are we going to get towed? And I'm like, that's a great question. Let's look at the signs.
Yes, yeah. I
Don't
do
rely
have to
on
say,
me
like,
to not make this a hoarder house.
like there is that risk of like creating a what is it? Well, like I was like a parentified child, where it was like, but I'm like,
Wait, what does that mean?
It's like when the parent puts the onus of
Oh, shit.
of like parenthood basically on the child, where like it's like raise yourself, you fucking selfish piece of shit.
Oh, I did. I had to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, people act like a parentified child's like this awful thing, but then I'm like, parentified children always end up with like a pretty good credit score. I'm like, it can't be that bad. To,
Yeah,
like,
what about like the modification of like parentifish?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not like fully parentified, but it's like parentis she.
Yeah.
A little tiny parenthesis. A little
Yes.
parenthesis where you do understand that like I can't carry the entire weight of
Right.
our
Like
whole
some of this
lives.
is on you. Like if you contributed to the mess, you will need to clean it up.
And also, I was, kind of the mom to my brothers, and I know how to iron, I know how to cook, I know how to microwave. I can microwave the shit out of any packaged food.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I just feel like I took care of my fammy, so I know how to do it,
Yeah. I love
has
I
it
can
come up in
microwave the
therapy?
shit out of any packaged food.
Well, because that's what, like, a fifth grader makes.
I know.
Okay,
Same.
but since we're talking about it, what is the downfall of that? Like, where do you guys, if
It's
you're
good.
like, okay,
It
is
is
it,
good.
but is there a downfall? Like when we talk about parentified kids, I feel like there's like, well, what ends up happening is what, they just get too good at things or what?
I think it's like you end up like being like overly self-reliant, like not being able to ask for help or like knowing how to ask for help. But it's also like over self-reliance is it is like one of those qualities that's just like rewarded by society. So it's kind of tough to, maybe I'm like spinning it in a positive way because it's something that I suffer from. But
I'll tell you how it's bad for me is that I'm trying to correct it in my own parenting. And like, for example, this morning I laid my daughter out for breakfast, a sliced boiled egg with 5 kinds of salts, 2 pieces of turkey bacon, and then some caramelized apples that I made that she didn't eat any of. And I'm just like trying to and it's like, I had to like, everyone in the 80s just poured cereal.
yeah. Yeah. You just sort of like I remember like my mom had 5 kids. I was the oldest of 5. She had twins at the end, and I remember literally seeing the twins in the yard with like duct tape around their diapers, and and they were like playing in a mud puddle, just like eating mud. And I remember
This feels like going green parenting. This feels
Yeah.
like
But she
Like,
was
if
just
you
like,
actually cared about the environment, you'd duct tape those diapers on until they filled up entirely.
they were the most disgusting children you've ever seen. They were constantly covered in like popsicle juice with no clothes on. They were hideously gross.
How are they now?
They're fine.
Wait, was it one of your responsibilities to take after the twins or to look after the twins?
Yeah, I mean, because if you're the oldest of five, it's like, by the time, my mom was pregnant for like 10 years, like the first 10 years of
Yeah.
my life. So I just took care of like my younger sisters and, I think, and myself at the same time. And it was fine. That was just like part of the deal.
And so
You
now
know?
you're just someone that can have a child, write a book, do a special, like you could do so many things, and the main thing that you are needing to get help with is asking for help.
For sure.
So I'm like with all the issues that kids can have, I'm like, that's kind of the best. I'm like,
It's-
I'd rather get him involved. I take on less of a burden. He gets involved in raising his younger sibling, and all he's got to do later is like, I've got to put him in like a weekend at Esalen about asking for help and support.
A weekend at Esalen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so usually we got just right into chatting, but we usually talk about eras, like what parenting era you're in.
Yeah.
Which I just also want to say that this has nothing to do with parenting, but I was at a party with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift 2 nights
Yes.
ago. So that's just what I want to just say.
Well, people should know that about you.
People have to know that I just stared at her for so long. And the news is in. Take it from my lips to your ears. She's exactly as advertised. Sort of like an Anne Hathaway type, like sort of like a tall girl that like it was like a burlesque show for a friend's birthday, and she was like throwing dollar bills and just really excited about it. And I stared at her and I stared at him, and I didn't talk to them.
You're like, look at those gorgeous statuesque.
I just said, like, what must it be like to be a real human person that I'm seeing, but you're also simply Coca-Cola? You are simply an entire industry, but you're also just a lady.
Yeah.
Do you aspire to that, Sabrina or Rosebud?
No.
No.
I can't say that I do. I mean, I aspire to the money, but I don't aspire to that life. You know?
Well, one thing that I was happy about for her was that the party, everyone had to turn their phones in, but then she had her phone, so she got to video. She got to video everyone else, and I'm like, that must be therapeutic. This is counteracting some deficiency for her, where it's like, finally, motherfuckers. Yeah, I hope you look good. Because I got 1,000 pictures of you, but you know that I was trying to get in the background of those videos.
So your parenting era is that
I saw
you're
Taylor
kind
Swift.
of in love with Taylor Swift.
No. I'm in love with my wife. Looked so hot at this party, and also my parenting era is sauces. That's what I had planned to say to you guys. You know how when you were younger, made potions?
Yes.
Toothpaste, flour, milk, just a useless bunch of shit that no one could use. I didn't do this, but it just happened that Wolfie started making potions out of hot sauce. So he's mixing all these hot sauces.
That is a great idea.
100% usable on the other side, and it's like, how do you go wrong? It's just a bunch of hot sauces. Then he started he's like, Bubba, can you put this on the blender? And it's like a garlic clove, some Thai chilies, and I'm like, this is perfect.
That's
no
awesome.
notes.
Wait, this is so great because I have that same situation, but it's messes all over the house, and they love the kitchen. That is such a great idea. And then do you like put it, like you store it like in a little mason jar?
In a
or
little
something?
jar, and then at dinner, we have people over, and we're like, Wolfie, do you want to take out your hot sauce? And he like doles it out, and he's
Yeah,
really
you gotta start
proud.
calling him the sauce boss.
The sauce boss. Well, I think what happened was at school they did this, like, that show Hot Ones?
Yeah.
They did like a Hot Ones with teachers. So if you want to get your kid in on sort of the trend of hot sauces, or like get them sort of involved in like the fun of it's so spicy, get them to watch a Hot Ones, then get them to make hot sauce, and boom, you're living my life.
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome.
All right, well, I'll do my era, which is kind of heavy.
Too late to say sauceum?
It's awesome.
Yeah, too late. We'll put it closer in the editing. Yours got a heavy one?
Well, it's on my mind, so I'm just gonna say it. Like,
Yeah.
how much can we tell the kids about like what's going on in the world?
Ooh, yeah.
Gotta
You know,
wrap.
like
Yeah.
I don't know, like because my daughter goes to a private school and they prefer you don't discuss any news or anything like that. Or,
Oh my
you
God,
know.
how creepy.
Yeah.
That the rich people are like, and of course leave the dirty, 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 dirty truth about the core of the world to yourselves.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, Rosebud, you're not at that stage yet, but I
I
do
know. I'm
think.
like, thank God. I don't even
But
know how you address that.
But my husband, you know, he like went to rallies since he was like really little because like his mom was like they lived in San Francisco and she was very pro-gay and pro-deaf and they would go to all these deaf rallies and women's rights rallies and I don't know, I just think it's like important for the kids. But, you know, we don't have to have the answers, but if anyone has any thoughts listening, I would love to hear your thoughts because I also hear about like burdening them with things. You know, my daughter was singing a song last night before she went to bed, like, they took my land with my spear in my hand or something.
Oh my God.
Okay, so she's got a native soul.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what's the
Wait, where did she
inspiration?
get? Yeah.
I asked her, and then she said Silver Dagger, that Joan Baez song, which I've played for her before. So, but that's like a love song, a beautiful song. But yeah, but it was very folk when I was hearing her sing it. And so it's like she is intuiting it anyway. You know?
Yes.
So I think
and
maybe
everything
that's...
about like what Moshe's mom was teaching him, which is like I feel so valuable, is like let's not let these gay people suffer thinking that like we're not here supporting them. Let's be there for the deaf community and you know showing support
And the
for these
Latino
areas.
community and like...
Yeah.
Well, if
Yeah.
you go Latino, you got to mention 3 or 4 others.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, ICE in particular, I think
Yes,
is, like,
yes.
really
No, I think it's so
a hot
important.
topic. And, like, it says fuck ICE all over the city. You know, our
Yes.
kids can read. You know, are you supposed to tell them that those people don't like the cold?
They don't like cold beverages. It's like we're going Europe. LA wants to be Europe right now. I think I'm very passionate about not. I think that what all of us kind of suffer from is shame around things. That's why I think both of your stand up and Rosebud, one thing particular, as I was like listening to your stuff, it's like so cool that your voice creates this like. It alleviates shame that people might have around like you've lost a sibling and you talk about it. And also I just wanted to say, I know that you've talked about it many times, but I think it's so cool the way you talk about it, that you bring your dark humor to it and model that you can like broach these subjects without being like a bummer or like that then you have to like then you're perceived as like someone who's lost a sibling. It's like all of this shit, we don't talk about the dark patches of life and then people feel so fucking alone about it, whether it's like a Hispanic person that goes to this school where it's like we're not supposed to be talking about it but their family members are like at risk of being kidnapped. It's like we have to in some way, and it doesn't have to be like the way you would talk about it at a bar with friends, but address the reality going on so that it's not this like shell-shocked fucking like I believe that you could create like a real sense of depression in a child that realizes themselves that the world isn't this like bubble wrapped rainbow utopia.
I think that the more you talk about something, the less power it has over you. You know what I mean? The less power it has over like the collective. Like if we're willing to just talk about like imagine if we were willing to talk about racism and like internalized racism. Imagine how much power it would lose over us as a society. We could just like address it and deal with it instead of fighting against it in these weird ways where we have to like create like the narratives that the party that's created this the ICE and all of everything else that they've created. I would say that my era is pretend. We're in the pretend era, so like I'm playing Ryder from Paw Patrol a lot, and today on the way to school, like oftentimes we watched Frosty the Snowman, like the 1975 like Frosty the Snowman a lot. And so she'll be like, hi, Karen. And then when she says hi, Karen, I'm supposed to say hi, Frosty. And then when she goes, hi, Ryder, I'm supposed to go, hi, Marshall. And we did that. We swapped roles about 7 times just on the Uber ride to school this morning. So it's just.
I like that you're also pretending that Karen is a likable name.
Yeah, I know.
You're rebranding Karen.
Has no idea.
I also like that you Uber your kid to school.
I do. I Uber her to school, and I'll be honest, I don't have a car seat. Literally, she sits on my lap. We're 20
Mexico
blocks
style.
from school. I'm like, I realized very quickly as a parent in New York, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be breaking a lot of laws, like just to get her where she needs to go. You know?
You're selling cocaine on the way.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got to stop and make a little money on the way.
Duh, you got to teach that kid to be resourceful.
For
Parentify that kid.
Wait, so in New York, are most parents Ubering to school?
I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea, and I am scared to ask. The fact that I'm saying this on a podcast is terrifying, but it's what I do.
That's great.
It's what I've had to do. She grew out of her Doona, which like the Doona was great because I could push her around in a stroller, slam that down and throw it in a cab. But like once she grew out of that, which was like within 3 months, I was like, fuck. If I got to get somewhere and I can't like get to the subway fast enough or whatever, I'd be like, all right, we're strapping her to my chest and we're just going to hop in a freaking lift. Like, this is what it is.
70s style.
I think that the good enough message on this should be like, don't blame us if something happens, but this is what we're doing is we're doing a little funky donkeys.
Yeah.
And you got to take responsibility for what happens along the way for your funky donkey.
But sure.
When we go to Mexico, it's like all of a sudden it's like the cars drive the same speed, but like we're like, don't on your lap, you got this. It's like a different mentality, and it's interesting just like the rules and like the fact that you could get arrested if you were
But Sabrina, there's a reason why they have these laws now.
No, I like a car seat. I think it's wonderful.
Sure. Yeah, we need
In fact, I just heard about this person who is a mother who is very like, I've got to have organic, grass-fed. It has to be, I need to know that the fish was wild. I need to know that. And then when it comes to car seat, is the buckle on? Who cares? And I'm it's just so interesting the places that we put our neuroses, and a car seat is definitely a valuable place to put it. But don't you think, and maybe, I don't know if they could do this with crash test dummies, but a mother holding a child for like a New York speed accident, which is like pretty slow speed, like it's not a highway.
Yeah, but you'd have to use a real mother. You'd have to use a real mother.
So I'm saying, would you be willing to?
Because
would you volunteer as tribute?
Yes, I'll volunteer. Like I think the strength of a real mom protecting her kid. I mean, maybe this
is better than a car seat.
I am rationalizing my bad choices. I am fully rationalizing my bad choices. But I'm like, if I had to, I would turn into steel and grow wings and protect her, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, we've closed a loop here.
All right, let's play this meme.
I don't even like you. And then I said, well, guess what? My family thinks I'm a princess and I'm super kind and nice. And if they think that, that's who I am. But if you don't think that, that's okay, because that's what I think of myself. And that's who I actually am. And so I know who I am. And I know that I'm a sweet little princess and so kind.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This girl run for local politics.
I do kind of feel bad for her, though, that she's having this cute thing, but her mom has an iPhone in her face.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, because it was content for us. And as someone who loves to, I got a lot of videos of my kid. It just feels like time, like it's like, in 15 minutes, they're a whole other shape. They're like a completely different era of their life. So I'm videoing, and I like that she because this is something that I think, again, along the lines of when we talk about like being honest with our kids, already preparing them for the fact that like there's going to be dumb cunts. There's dumb cunts everywhere of every race and gender. They are coming up to you and they're trying to steal your thunder. And my timeout today is about one aspect of this. But like, people, you know, if they're not taught to be kind, and we see the grown-ups that are raising them, there are people that are sort of like operating from a place of like, I want to try and have nice connected experiences. And there's people that are like, well, I've been ripped off. The minute I wake up, great. I have to wake up, which is also, by the way, how I feel. I don't know why I'm throwing shade on it. But like, no, just the idea of like preparing your kid. Like, I think that's a really, obviously her mother prepared her for that conversation. That's why she had something in the canon. And I think as comics too, it's like you sort of, having done crowd work, I think it's good to instill in your kids this idea that like, someone might say something about the fact that your haircut is different. Someone might say something about the fact that you've got two moms and one of them's not mom, one of them's baba, and it's like all of that stuff. People could say things, and how can we already teach you how to perceive it as not a loss, but a loss for them?
Yeah. That's so tough. I feel like my instinct is so bad in that.
You're like, well, put the kid
like,
seatbeltless in the back of a car.
I know. I'm like, my instinct is like, well, what you got to do is like focus on something about their appearance that is just really terrible. And it's really...
No, but that's
Rosebud,
not that. That's a little.
You don't
that's
know.
like,
I was gonna say, you don't know how many times my daughter will say something like off, and I'm like, "Who told you that?" And she's like, "You did." And I'm like, I said that people have something wrong with their brains. I said that, like, it's just it's endless, and I'm just like, I don't even realize I'm saying it sometimes. And
I
it's
know.
yeah, you said the lady at Whole Foods should go on Manjaro. It would be free for her. Why would she not?
I mean, when she parrots them back, they make sense. But I'm like, oh, I guess, yeah, it happens so much. But I definitely am like working on, you know, trying to figure out the best practices. And it really is like a hobby, a pastime. You know, we all have to kind of get invested in learning the best way to talk to them, I think.
I think that Rosebud, you're like more on point than you think. Like when you're like, oh, it's so bad. I actually like watched a reel, which is where all real information, it's called Reel because it's real information.
Of course.
It was like a lady to camera talking about how, it was like a psychologist talking about how we're teaching our daughters specifically to be like kind to the abuser, to be like, that's okay. And this girl did it in a really good version where she said, that's okay because I know who I am. Which, like, that's so powerful anyways. Like, isn't that kind of like what we're all circling around is like a little bit of like when we feel insecure, it's like, well, no, I know who I am. I'm a princess. You know, it's like, it's kind of amazing to even just use that language with your kid of like, you know who you are. But also, she was saying it's better for them to be like, sad that you think that you've got to make that comment. Like, put some shame on them for doing it. Like, make them feel stupid for coming to you, and then you have less of a bullied child. Because one other thing is, I did go to one time a PTA meeting, and I did find that sometimes, this is like so bad, but please don't tell anyone I said this.
It was the dirt.
Sometimes parents that are like talking about their kid being constantly bullied are like annoying people.
Yeah.
And so they've created like annoying people, and they love being a victim, and they've created kids that are like, oh, being a victim is currency. If I come home and tell my mom that like someone's been doing something bad to me, then it reminds her that like bad things keep happening to her, and then that's like the language that we speak. Yeah. So getting out of victim mentality, I think, is a good.
I get really confused because my kid will take stuff that I've told them that is like important, but like. I'm like, oh, I told her that too early. Like, I was trying to do, like, bodily boundaries, like body boundaries and stuff like that. And I took her to the mall to see Santa. And, like, ordinarily she, like, cries whenever I take her to see Santa. So I was like, maybe this year we're going to be good. I take her, I put her in Santa's lap, and she starts screaming, "It's my body," over and over again.
Oh my God.
She gets it. She gets it. What the fuck are we doing in this century? We're like fresh off the Epstein files. It's like, but we'll keep the tradition where a fucking
like,
loose,
my body.
haggard old man that has nothing on his resume and nothing to do on a Sunday but sit in the mall and wait for kids to line up and sit on his lap.
But then as we're walking away, she says to me, she goes, "Mommy," she goes, "we don't make men feel better," which is like something that I said, I swear to God, like 9 months ago when a guy was shitty to me and I was like weirdly apologetic to him and like trying to like make him feel better. And then I turned to Minnow, who witnessed the whole thing, and I was like, "We don't do that. We don't make men feel better." And I was like, and I guess it like really made an impact because she does have like a crazy memory, She'll bring up
Young people do have like a better memory, I find, and it's also good. You can put them in charge of things, of remembering certain things, because like they're just like giving them tasks like that. I think is good. But I had a similar situation the other day. We went to the dog, like this like open field to let the dog run, and our dog is like so sweet. And this woman saw me, her dog was off leash, and she grabbed her dog and started staring at me and like screaming at her dog and running away. And then I told,
cool.
I know, and her vibe was so bad. I told my daughter, I go, "Let's just go." And then when we got in the car, I go, "Just so you know," I go, "we didn't leave because we were afraid or anything like that. It was just her energy. I just didn't want her to start anything with me. I'd rather just drive away and go somewhere else." She's like, "I know, Mom, I know." But like, I do feel sometimes I want to remember to tell them, because we're modeling so much.
Yeah, and also, by the way, I bet that she's instilled in her dog some weird, freaky behavior that, like, it probably begets problems with other dogs.
Yeah. I also didn't want my daughter to think I was afraid of her, which I was kind of. But, like, I don't like confrontations. Like, I'm just like, get me back in my car. Like, I just don't want to talk to crazy people.
I don't like them unless I'm going to be really winning and feeling fantastic after.
I don't want to win. I want complete, like, removal.
Yeah.
I guess that sounds better. I'll choose that as well.
I swing between the two, wildly between the two, I would say.
My husband gets excited over confrontation, so we've had to he'll kind of get like puffed up, like I'm curious what would have happened.
Here comes Moshe with the boner. Get ready for a rant.
Yeah.
Like he's the kind of guy who plans what he's going to say to someone if they say the thing that he thinks they're going to say because they're going to judge him,
Well, that's what I'm saying we should do with our kids.
Yeah.
Rosebud, have you had a confrontation with your child? Like in Child in Tow?
Yeah. She does do, it's honestly her. She starts it. Like, it's not a confrontation.
She starts the confrontation.
She starts the confrontations, yeah.
That's why she's talking about Karens.
Yeah, like when we come downstairs every morning, and there's like a different doorman there, and so we'll do this game where I'm like, "Who do you think is down there?" And I'll be like, "Do you think it's Paul? Do you think it's Billy?" And she was like, "I think it's Billy because Billy's her favorite." And then we go downstairs and it's neither of them. It's Frankie, and she, since the day that we played this game last, and it was Frankie, she's been like really angry whenever Frankie is there. Like, I don't know. I tried to explain it to Frankie. I was like, "Hey, just so you know, this isn't going to like make more sense, but she thought you were going to be Billy one day and then you weren't." And
you're like, maybe if you don't want this vibe, put some stickers in your pocket, have some
yeah,
bubbles.
I'm like, I don't know.
But...
Yeah, I don't know what you want to do, but like, she's pretty upset that you're still Frankie, like, and it's so sad because Frankie loves her, but she tends to like, do this thing where she'll, she's like learning about hitting and pushing, and she'll see that it's Frankie, and I'll see her like want to hit him, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, I had a really aggressive pit bull for like a couple of years, so that did kind of help, where I'll be like, okay, you have a strong heart and you have really big feelings, and that's like your superpower, but you're strong enough to take a breath and choose what to do. Like I'm trying to like show her that like it's great that she's like got this really strong, really powerful personality, but that she can use that to actually channel that strength in the right direction, because it is tough. Like, you know, she definitely has, she looks like Andy, but she's got my personality 100%. And it's not always been a pleasure to meet me, you know. I'm like, it's a little tough.
That actually reminds me of how I got owned in a confrontation, which was these fajitas never came. We're in Palm Springs. I got a big party. We're sitting down, and I just had a push-pull relationship with this waitress that I ended up being like, I need at least things comped. Like, things came so late, and at the end of the night, she walks up to me and she goes, "I hope you never meet someone like you." It echoed in my ear for fucking ever. I hope you never meet someone like you. And when you think about it, you're like, oh my God, what if I did meet someone like me?
I know. I know.
You fall in love.
I would,
Right.
but then there would be parts of me that I don't like, that I'd be like, that bitch just doesn't know when to shut up.
I know. It's like, it is the classic, like, when you point at somebody, there's three fingers pointing back at you. Like, that is...
I haven't heard that, but I'm gonna go tell that to the waitress.
That was one of my mom's favorites. But, like, anything that...
Oh, that's true, because you have these fingers.
Right. So it's like, when you're pointing at somebody being like, eh, meh, 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 you're, like, it's basically saying, like, the things that annoy you about other people are, like, a reflection of yourself, of, like, some
God, it's
part
true.
of yourself. And, yeah, Minnow being as, like, stubborn as she is, I'm like, oh, this is fully me. And, like, she's, when she doesn't like somebody, I'm like, you don't have to always, like, tell them that. You can just, like, have that. You don't have to,
She's like, but when it comes to Frankie, let's not make men feel better.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, fuck, like, the way that I thought I was, like, saying that in a very simple way that a toddler could understand. And I guess I did, but, like, I was like, oh, it's a toddler. Like, she can't.
I know, but I also think it's like good to just prime them, you know? Like,
Yeah.
for me, the woman thing, I was like, I can't budge on that. I have
Yeah.
to tell her that women used to be oppressed. Like, it's too important to me for her to be a strong leader, that I want her to know this from as early as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you also answer your question with, like, the energy of that, putting that energy into, like, you know, when it comes to talking about ICE, talking about these other things, especially if they're not doing it at school, it's, like, so valuable to just, like, have an entry point conversation about all of it.
Right.
I agree.
Listen, since we're all agreeing here, we do have a question from the audience, and I want to get to it. I care about our listeners. I care that you go to Good Enough PCast on Instagram and you click on that thing and you tell us how you feel. And
Sabrina, PCast never not makes me laugh.
look, when you start a podcast in the year 2028, there's not a lot of Instagram handles left. At least it's not spelled like PEE. It's just little
It
P
should
for the
be.
pod.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear our question.
Hi, Natasha and Sabrina. Thanks so much for taking my call, which is about religion
Anytime.
and how it's invading my life. My mother is a devout Catholic, and I was raised super Catholic. I was a good kid in terms of following the church's rules and attending Bible school. I sung in choir and chanted along in mass. But I've always felt deep down since I was young that it was all BS. I haven't believed in any sort of God since I was a kid, but I kept up appearances just to stay in line and not cause a rift or anything like that until I went to college. Now I've got a husband and 2 kids, and both my husband and I are what I like to say respectful humanists. We don't care about how other people live or have religion as long as it doesn't bother us. But to that point, I just had my baby girl in November, and ever since she was born, my mother has been furious with me for not baptizing my kids or raising them with God. And we had a big fight about it, actually, only 6 hours after I pushed my baby out in the hospital. And she will complain to anyone who listens that her daughter is a heathen and an atheist, which is hurtful to me. To calm her down, I told her she could talk about God and religion with my kids, but I didn't mean to like convert or evangelize. But she actually has been trying to get my 3-year-old son doing all sorts of religious stuff and buying him religious toys and books. I don't want my son to be proselytized, and I don't want all this religious stuff in my house. I've been hiding the books and toys that she buys and claiming to be busy when she sets up times to go to religious services. But I just don't think I can keep this up for 18 years. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
Not to be rude, but kill your mother.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that, first of all, her mother has the fever. A lot of Christians get it, and they just can't stop. They'll stand outside of a Foot Locker giving everyone a Bible. My brother dated one once, and the parents would like always have a Bible in their purse, keep giving it to them, so there's that. I don't think she should let her alone with the kids right now. They can do family things together. And when I was converting, I went to the Vatican, and I said to the priest in confession, I said, I'm converting. And he said, okay, well, what can you do? And then he said, can you do one thing for me? And I said, what? And he said, once a year, go to Mass. Midnight Mass. Can you do that once a year? And I was like, you know what? I can. But maybe you could offer some tree branch like that in exchange.
I love that, like, the Vatican priest has less drive than, like, me when I'm trying to leave T-Mobile. Yeah, the once a year mass thing, I'm like, that also, by the way, that's, like, attractive to me. Like, it's like that. If my child wants to find God in some religion, we're also raising our kids, I guess, this word humanist I connect with.
Secular humanist.
We're raising our kids with kindness. My wife loves crystals, the moon. We're talking about astrology. There's like folklore and like, you could compare those to Bible stories, but we're very much, one thing that we are talking to our kids about is the division that can come with this like cult-like behavior of people that think they're better and saved because they believe in one specific God, and how comical that is when you really like step back from it. I think this caller knows the answer. I was joking when I said kill your mother. Please do not. We need like a disclaimer at the end of this episode being like, good enough will not responsible for children that are being cared by zero car seat and killing mother.
Right.
But I grew up with like this big Muslim family that I would go to the mosque, but my mom was Swiss and was like, came from Catholicism. It was like, you don't have to believe any of this stuff. You can respect it. You can take the good from it. But just know that like a lot of people also use this as a mask, I was kind of presented with it from a like warning sign and probably like more of a poo-pooing religion perspective. And now my reaction is like, you know what? There's some really incredible things that come from like knowing in your heart that there's something bigger, knowing in your heart that you're connected, that we're all connected, and that like there is, some divinity to this entire like existence, that it's like not just like a bunch of AI robots bumping into each other. It's like we are living an experience.
Not yet.
Not yet, but once I put my kid in a Waymo.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same-ish. Like I've tossed around the idea of having my kid baptized, but again, she is 2.5 now, so that's probably not going to go over that well. I feel like we missed the window. I'm like, if she wants to later, she can. I'm not super religious. I grew up like Episcopalian, which is basically Catholicism light.
But you eat fish?
Yeah. I don't, just because I think
it sounded like pescatarian, so I thought that was going to be like a huge laugh point.
I'm just kind of like the same way, but I feel like any religion whenever it gets like overzealous and zealousness in general, I just start to rebel against that. And that includes like Catholicism, astrology, atheism, like any sort of like it's this way or no way. That's where I start to go like, I just get weirded out.
And you should. That's a good instinct.
Like to me, if you're super bothered by it and you want to keep hiding that stuff, then go for it. But there's also like there's no harm in just like I don't know what the books say. So this is granted I don't know what the context of these like things say, but I don't know, there's no harm in like letting someone just kind of figure it out for themselves. And
I do think when you're little, though, I understand. It sounds like the note behind the note of what she's saying was that her upbringing, there was damaging aspects to it. And I think the way in which she's phrasing this question is a symptom of the damaging aspect, which is that she feels controlled by her mother's desire. One amazing thing when you come out of the closet is like you're kind of ripping the Band-Aid off of like all of what you thought that I was going to be. There's something fundamental in me that's telling you I'm different, and you have no choice but to either see me fully on the other side of this, and it could take a little while, but I think that she needs to do the same thing with her mother and say like, I love
have
you.
a conversation.
I know that this is a part of your life, and the less eager you are to, as my child is just coming into themselves, wedge your perspective that you know is different than the way I want to be raising my child in, the more free I'll feel to have you take her to church someday. And know that like when she comes home, we'll be like, remember what we said. Grandma's
and it's also super personal because it's like I get that. Like, it's a rejection of when you tell your mom, like, hey, this isn't who I am anymore. This is who I am. And she refuses to, like, acknowledge. It feels like a refusal to acknowledge the choice that you've made, which is, like, I'm different than you. On the other hand, it could, I guess I'm being a little, like, it could later be seen as like, oh, she kept this thing from me. So if it's something that you're comfortable with, there's always the option of, like, saving that stuff and showing it to him later if you want to. And if not,
but it's a bunch of children's books that have titles like Don't Be Gay or Trans.
Okay, so then throw them out. Throw them in the fucking garbage.
I wish I came up
Burn
with a
them
better
in
title.
your house with your kid.
That's
And
what I'm
also,
talking about.
And also, you know, if you do want to have a relationship with your mom, you try to schedule some things that are not religious for all of you to do together.
I think you need to be just a little bit more big girl with your mom, which is, it's time. You've got your kids, and it's like, don't you guys feel like this is sort of like, there is this, I remember like in the hospital room when Wolfie was first born, it was like one of the first times that I like, my dad said something about like the way I was eating, and I like was like, no, the cycle is over.
Yeah.
No comments like that. It's like, now it's time for you to have some confidence and say with your chest, this is not something we're doing. I know this is going to be hard for you, and it's been hard for me to tell you because I love you and I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you gotta shift away from your obsession of like, you know, calling me a heathen to people. It's like, well, it's not going to beget a lot of loving exchange from me.
Also, calling somebody a heathen is so ridiculous.
Rosebud, you should get in touch with this listener and get the mother to get the late stage, what's it called? Bath? Catholic bath?
Late stage Catholic bath.
Baptism.
What's it called?
Baptism.
Yeah.
I like late stage
baptism.
Catholic bath. I like that better.
Late stage Catholic bath.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, once you get into these people's mind, it's like they have a brain infection, you know? Like I remember talking to a Mormon. I talked to a Mormon whose parents kind of disowned her, who was a comedian in Salt Lake City. She was really funny. She opened for me, but I was like, well, what do they think? And she's like, they really think that I'm going to die and I'm not going to be able to have a seat at their table in heaven.
Yes. Yes,
and they
true.
really
and
believe
by
that.
association, you could mess up with their seed.
Oh, interesting.
Well, guys, speaking of a seed in heaven, we are bumping up against the end of this gorgeous episode. But do you guys have something to put in timeout?
I would like to put in timeout my inability to have my daughter experience pain. I just want to disappoint her a little bit more with some no's, because I feel like I just have such a strong instinct to solve every problem. And I'm really hating that in myself, and I think it's bad modeling.
I love you. You're so sweet. And I have a suggestion.
What?
Once a week, tell her that she's going to Dave & Buster's and then drive to a dilapidated strip mall and be like, oh my God, this location must have shut down. It's like...
She would start crying after...
Right. But that's like your appointment, because like then you know what's happening. You know exactly what's happening.
But she only knows about Dave & Buster's because your son told her about it, and she was so excited for the human claw machine, she talked about it for 2 weeks until we finally went.
Oh my God! Well, fantastic, great.
And they do have good fried pickles.
Now
they
it's
have
time to
fried
drive her to
pickles.
a construction
In
site.
actual reality, this actually happened. I thought this was just like an improvised suggestion that Sabrina came up with, and I was like, that's genius.
No. This is an improvised suggestion, but Dave & Buster's is a big part of our family. We like pride ourselves in being like, we are not a video game console household. It's like every other day, Dave & Buster's.
Yeah.
Rosebud, are you gonna go next, or should I?
I'll go next. My timeout is I'm gonna try to be a little bit more like Sabrina this week and just like let the mess happen. I just clean up like constantly, and I'll clean up like before she's even done playing with something, because I'm just like anticipating having to clean it up later. And so I'm just like, and then of course like it gets taken out before I could even freaking clean it up again. So I'm sort of living in this hellscape that I've created for myself. And I'm like, if I just let the mess just happen and let her, because I feel like I'm impeding on her creativity to some extent, where she'll be in the middle of playing and I'm like, okay, let's put it away. And it's like, no, she's got a game. Like, let her cook, you know? So I just want to
let her cook, let her make hot sauce.
Yeah, I want to let her cook for a minute.
Great.
Sabrina?
My long game with this podcast is to have a movement where women stop cleaning entirely, and then there's an era where every house looks like the hoarder's house from TLC. This is my kitchen. I'll quote her again.
But truly lowering the domestic obsession, you know.
Yes, but then guess what? Who's gonna clean? Men will have to rise up. Men will have to rise up and clean, or butch lesbians.
Yeah.
Or your children. I put in timeout very quickly, very briefly, the motherfucker that is ripping down my son's DJ flyer. Yeah. Yeah, my son knows how to DJ, okay? Yeah, he's 8 years old and he knows how to use software to DJ. He's got a speaker and he'll roll up on a gig for $50. You're jealous motherfucker. You jealous motherfucker. We've already decided what you look like. You got a poo-poo, a bum taking a shit, and the poo's coming out of the middle of your face. That's what you look like. Your face is a bum with a poo coming out of it, and it's a miracle you know where to even rip that flyer down, because you don't have eyes, because your face is a bum.
Great job, Sabrina.
I love that.
Great job, everyone.
Yeah,
this has been another gorgeous episode.
All right, well, make sure to watch Rosebud Special Motherload on, I don't know if you've heard of it, Netflix.
But also pre-order her book. Title of the book is Freshly.
Oh, Fully Baked. I had
Fully
to take a
Baked.
minute to remember myself.
Fully Baked. It's been incredible to have you. And guess what? We love you.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. And just to be clear, I did not know that there were Christian books that did that. So that's on me. I'm naive.
And
wasn't
guess
trying to
what?
fight
I'm
for
a dumb
that.
bitch, and the Christian books could have said, like, love thy neighbor. But I'm like,
I literally,
every
that's
single
what I was
one of them.
picturing. That's what I was
Every
picturing. I was like,
single
oh.
one of them is homophobic.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that have been sent to me, because I have gotten sent a few from my fucking grandparents,
Yes.
are like about lions that are trying to be nicer to their neighbors, like truly. And I was like, oh, that's not so bad.
That's just the Tawny Scrawny.
I'm
That's
so
just the
like
Tawny
naive.
Scrawny lion.
Yeah, yeah. I love
all
you
right.
guys, though. Thank you for having me.
Today's episode brought to you by God.
Yeah.